Hello, rock stars, Matt Vanderbo here. Hey, by now, if you've been watching my videos, you know what a music cue is, along with what the primary functions of them are. And at some point in your musical journey, in the early days, which could have been a handful of years ago, or maybe it's right now, you sat down to compose music with the sole intention of making the coolest music imaginable. You wanted to make cues that were so cool that you could give them to your friends and family, and everybody would be asking for a copy, and you'd sell it on iTunes or DistroKid or wherever, and you want your friends and family to say, wow, I could totally hear that on TV, right? Well, if you've sat down to compose with that mentality, or if you have ever heard those words from your friends and family, then welcome to the poorhouse, baby, because that music will probably never get used on TV. In fact, if you sit down with the sole intention of writing cool music, there is like a 99% chance that your music is unsuited for placements in TV shows. And if you stick around for a few minutes, I'll tell you why. So let's dive in. Woo! The owner of Taxi Music, guy by the name of Michael Laskow, I think says it best when he constantly says that a music cue simply solves a problem. Now, what are those problems? They are directly related to the three primary functions of an instrumental cue. Watch this video to find out more. Those problems are, number one, a scene in a show does not have enough energy without music. Number two, a scene does not have enough emotion without music. Or number three, the video just needs extra help to put the listener in a specific environment or atmosphere. So a good music cue is going to solve one of those three problems. And in doing so, it is going to sit way, way, way down in the background of the video. It's going to be mixed so low back there that the audience isn't necessarily going to hear it, but they are going to feel it. So a good music cue will never call attention to itself, which means that if you are doing anything flashy with a lot of choppy edits and your instrumentation is crazy and over the top, and you've got ripping solos, or you've just done these chord changes that you think sound cool, those things are most likely going to draw attention to themselves and away from the video. And we do not want that. The editors do not want that. And the audience watching the show does not want that either. And the overall downside to that is your music won't get placed, which means you don't get a paycheck, and you certainly don't want that. So, in reality, good music cue compositions are extremely simple. They stay out of the way of the main star of the show, which is what people see with their eyes. It's the actors, it's the videography, it's the setting, it's the editing of the video. It is not your music. So put aside any aspirations of being the next biggest thing in music and realize that your job is basically to be overlooked while solving problems. I remember my earliest days of composing music, I did everything wrong for like 2 years. And maybe some of you can sympathize with this, but I came from a performance background where I was typically on stage. And as such, my band was pretty much relegated to the noise that you could make with guitars, drums, and microphones. That was it. We couldn't do anything else. So when I joined the composition world, I came at it like a guy on a new frontier, where I had all these tools at my disposal that I've never been able to use before, and I wanted to do it all. So I made a bunch of electronica type music with a lot of glitchy edits and crazy synths that I'd never heard before, and I put a lot of effort into making music that I thought was cool. And I remember playing it for my friends and playing it for my family, and they all said it was cool too, which are the words that you should never really want to hear, because if you are making music for listeners, then you are making music for the wrong audience. Your real audience is the one person sitting in front of a computer screen editing together his or her reality TV show. You win that person over, then they'll put your music on TV, and then your audience becomes the viewing public. Only the viewing public does not care one whit about your music because they are watching the show and they are completely ignoring the music, although they are feeling the impact of it. So our role as composers is to just stay out of the way while solving problems, which means your music is probably going to be way more simple than you ever thought possible. The downside is you are probably never going to win Grammys, you are never going to win Composer of the Year, and if you play this music for your friends and family, they're going to roll their eyes and be like, what in the hell? And you are never going to impress your composition buddies if you happen to be in school. In fact, these people are all probably going to laugh at you at how simplistic your music is. But you will be the one laughing when you take a pile of money to the bank and you say, blam, I made this money from making extremely simple music that was put on a TV show. Now you may be saying, what, you mean I can't make cool music at all? No, that's not exactly what I'm saying, because cool music can be usable music. Similarly, usable music can also be cool. So these things are not mutually exclusive. They can overlap. But you need to be making music with usability being your goal. First and foremost, above anything and everything, you want to focus on usability. And if you focus on that, then sometimes that music does become cool and you can share it to people and they won't roll their eyes and they'll say, wow, that's really cool. That does happen. But what won't happen is if you sit down to make really, really cool music and hope it is usable, because chances are it won't be. So the moral of the story here is very simple. Do not focus on making cool music. Instead, focus on making usable music. And this channel will tell you all the tips and strategies that I do to make my music usable instead of cool. So I hope you've learned something from this video, and if you did, please subscribe to this channel because I constantly make new videos that explain my process, and nothing I do is overly complicated, but I am always thinking about making usable music instead of cool music. So with that, I hope you can run with this information to make lots of good tracks that'll get lots of placements and make lots of money, baby. Let's go!